Hello, everyone. Oh, this is a good turnout. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Benoit. I'm going to explain just a couple of things before we start. First of all, we have three bathrooms, one on each floor. This is my living room, so if you have not been here before, maybe you should know. And I can still safely say that for about an hour. Then my wife comes back from Tampa. She was singing this weekend. And then I have to say that it's her living room. I just live here. But I'm still good. I'm still good. It's my living room for another hour.
Tell her you said that.
Yeah, yes. She knows. Sometimes she catches me. So
the bathrooms are out there.
now, if you just came in, are you good? You need anything from the bar? Because normally we'll close the bar now because when I leave the stage, I'm gonna go and take care of the recording, the filming. So every month we have a different visual artist. So until the end of the year, our artist is Anthony Darby. He's a young guy. He's actually graduating UCF at the end of the month, or at the end of December, I guess. And then January we start a brand new batch of visual artists. Any sales that we make, they keep all the money. We don't take a commission here. And you can catch him live. Our gala concert is coming up next Saturday. He's going to paint live for that, and on December 14th and December 21st. So our remaining events are all jazz events, except for our art and wellness. So every Wednesday we have art and wellness. So let me start over. So we have a nonprofit called the Tim Quires Foundation, and we present like a bunch of things here of all kinds. And so this weekend was, indigenous culture was our focus. But in January, chamber music of all kinds. February is Tim Quires Amplifies Black Voices. March is Opera Festival. April is Month of Jazz. May is World Music. And August is International Guitar Festival, and so on and so forth. So we try to focus our energies so that you guys know what to expect, usually, not always. And we do theater, we do poetry, so we have free events. Every first Sunday of the month, we have the Sam Rivers Legacy Big Band, and it's called the Rejuvenation Orchestra. It's a 16-piece big band, and they rehearse here, and it's free. You can just come and enjoy some wine and check it out. It's a rehearsal, but they play the music, and it's all about educating the younger generation, because I played in that band 25 years ago, and I know for a fact that you can't just learn it by either listening to it or looking at the music. You won't understand what's going on. You have to play it in the band, and somebody has to explain to you how it works, otherwise you won't figure it out. Because Sam had a very particular way of writing that is unusual, and it's his own system, and so that's the reason why we do that every month. They rehearse here because we want to keep that music alive. Sam Rivers was an icon of the free jazz and the jazz scene. He played with Miles Davis and such, but he lived the last 30 years of his life, if not more, here in Orlando. And so he's an important part of the culture here, and so we want to make sure that keeps going. And then every Wednesday we have art and wellness. The first one is ticketed, every other one is free. So for example, we just had meditation with Puja on Wednesday, and now this coming Wednesday, if you're interested in music making, we have deep listening with Keith Lay. That's a Pauline Oliveros, concept. And it's an interesting thing. There's Tai Chi-like movement, guided listening to your body and to the world around you. And there's music making at the end, but it's unlike other music making or other ways of making music that you may have heard or participated in. So it's an interesting thing. And I should add that here, we're not using it tonight, but we have the only ACS, Active Acoustic Control System, that's installed in a home anywhere in the world. Not only that, but we have 10 times more rooms available than anyone else on the planet, period. And so we have the most versatile and complete active acoustic control system. That means I can change the room at will. And it's really cool. And just because we're not using it tonight doesn't mean that, for example, tomorrow at 2 p.m. we have a free recital, and you can experience it there. She plays piano and cello. She's one of my wife's more advanced students, and she's going off to college, and she wanted to do a recital before she goes to college. And so you can see that for free. And tomorrow night we have a free poetry series every third Sunday, Authentic Selves. And if you live in Orlando, you owe it to yourself to come to at least one of those because it's really, really powerful. We usually have a featured poet and then an open mic, and you say, oh, open mic is going to be ordinary. It usually is not. Who's here has experienced Authentic Selves? You have. It's really strong, isn't it? Like, it's amazing. Like, you won't believe how many strong poets we have here in Orlando. Amazing. And so that's just a sample. We had 8 free events in the last 7 days. So it's a lot. And we do that for you. And we need something in return from you. And that is to tell your friends about us. Not everyone, just your friends. Right? So if you like us, you might want to buy a membership. It's $10 a month, and you get 2 discounted tickets for every ticketed event, which means you could save $20 per event every time you come. Do the math. It's pretty clear that you can be a winner here. And we also are a winner because we have a steady stream of income, and we see your face more often, which is exactly what we want. So I think I've explained quite a bit what we do here. If you like jazz, classical, voices, opera, theater, film screenings, we do it all. Now the screen is not huge. I know that. I have a bigger one, but it's not as versatile as this because sometimes we have contemporary music with projections, for example, and if the projector is there, and it's not as cool, right? So now the projector is there, and it's big enough to, I think, enjoy, right? We enjoyed the movie last night, and so I hope you enjoy that. Now, you're in for a special treat. This is not too many people for a ceremony, right? It's gonna work.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Here is meant
Perfect.
To be.
So you're gonna get the experience of Aku and his life and his art, and he's gonna talk to you about it. He's gonna show you some of his films and photographs, and then talk to you, answer your questions and whatnot. I hope you have questions, and after that, we're gonna go outside, and he's gonna explain to you. But we're gonna experience a real sacred experience, and I hope that you enjoy that as well. So please help me welcome Aku Rodriguez.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. My name is Aku. I come to you from the Mescalero Apache in Zapotec. In our culture, we believe that those and what is happening in this moment is meant to be. So what is here, who's here is meant to be. And we understand that in our culture, we always see that all of us are brothers and sisters, no matter what color. It is not about color, for in truth, we all bleed red. What you're going to see today is my journey. I called it Dances with Films. Now, I picked these sort of films so you will know where our land is, you will know what is happening to our land, and the beautiful people that have been through that land. Not only us native tribes, but many different people of color have gone to this land. And I picked these films in order for you to help educate not only yourselves, but who and what we are, and who and what we are and what we do to help educate others, to help educate our children. And let's stop, because we are all brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter. And to us in our culture, we have dedicated ourselves to stop this ignorance and stop this separation. For it is separation that is why we are where we are now. So with this, I would like to introduce you to Dances with Films. There is a Q&A afterwards. You're more than welcome to come up to me, ask me after Q&A. But after this Q&A, if you don't have questions, that'll be enough of me and my story. But I want to introduce you to a beautiful ceremony. Now, there is a full moon yesterday, and it is a beautiful moon today. And I will get personal, but I lost my daughter 1 year ago, and this day is her birthday. So I want to share this with all of you brothers and sisters. And I want to give another blessing to Leah, a beautiful sister who picked me up from the airport. she cannot be here because her father passed away last night. So to me, this is a very sacred day, sacred moment. And those of you who are here, you will feel and understand what it is to be sacred and what it is to be brothers and sisters. So please enjoy, and thank you so very much for coming.
And the reason I became involved in this issue, seeing the trailers go by all the time really touches my heart. Once I learned everything that was happening to the horses once they're tagged for slaughter, is just an unacceptable end for such a noble creature.
Horses are very sacred to a lot of native tribes because they were medicine. We had this connection with the horse, their spirit. We could feel their spirit, and we respected their spirit because they were here by the Creator to use a horse in such a way, not to abuse them.
To see that we just dispose of the old horses. Once we get to a certain age, we just go, oh well, they're too old, and it's like, no, that's when they really have something that they can give, they can share.
As you can imagine, conditions are very, very bad. Nobody cares about these animals at this point, and there are only a price per pound that's left. And the skinnier the horse, the poorer quality the horse, the less money is in the horse. So these horses are just treated with no dignity, no respect, nothing. They're treated like they're already dead.
Open mind and a very open intelligence about it, so that you can be very pro-horse and realize that shutting it down at a very local level does not shut down the problem. So we need to really look at this as a holistic issue and really fight it from a lot of different angles. They embody the spirit of what I think we all long for, which is freedom, strength, grace, beauty. Really a driving force for me to use what I called for a long time in my marketing was painting with a purpose, to use the art to make a difference on their behalf.
The purpose of the Children's Art Project was to bring awareness of the horse. And so we have found that through the love of the horse, and by bringing him to the forefront, whether it's through paintings or drawings, that people become more aware of the horse and what they're going through.
We held our third annual last year, and we wanted to bring it back here to the beautiful square here in Santa Fe, and we just wanted to embrace the people and also bring awareness about what's happening with our horses.
Was a skull of a horse. Amber told me this skull was found in the creek bed near the holding pens on the border, and I named her Spirit to represent the spirit of all the horses that have endured this horrible ending.
They are abused, they are slaughtered awfully, and I don't know what else to say except somebody, the citizens of this nation, have to help them.
There are still thousands of horses going to Canadian and Mexican slaughter every year. We really have to work to ensure that this slaughter pipeline is stopped and that every single horse gets the dignified care that they need, particularly end of life, so that the slaughter cannot continue to be an option here.
It breaks my heart every time a trailer passes by, but in turn, I make a promise to those horses that I'm here for them.
Today we're gathered together as tribal members and with the community, both the native and non-native community, to cleanse this place. It's called the Cemetery of the Lipanes.
I have relatives here, that's why I'm involved. That's what we're here to do today. It's sacred ground now. We're here to honor our ancestors.
As an archaeologist, was to serve as an intermediary between the tribe and the state to scientifically record and document the cemetery itself. So I came out here and recorded each and every grave.
And so what we were doing today is we were putting up a temporary fence, and also in 2014 we successfully got the Texas Historic Commission to designate it antiquities landmark.
The city, to thank the Lipan Apaches for what they're doing, came up with a proclamation. And so now the city, the county, the state, and the Lipan Apaches are coming together to bring us back to what it deserves. It is a burial site that's sacred, plus it's very historic for a place like Presidio.
The museum has been open for 18 years. We were founded in February 2001 in Fort Worth, Texas.
And our mission is to educate the population about the history of the forgotten cowboys. And when we say forgotten cowboys, we mean Black, Hispanic, Native American, Asian cowboys. Because a lot of folks did not realize that they were a large part of development of the West.
And one of the things that I try to do as a historian and here at the museum is we try to separate myth and folklore from the real story.
We cover all genres of Western history and culture, all nationalities, and the practices that they had in the past and how that brings them to the present.
We do a rodeo twice a year. One during the historic stock show, which is always on Martin Luther King's birthday, and then we do one during the summer. The fourth Saturday in July is the National Day of the American Cowboy. So we always do a rodeo and we do our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We have over 120 inductees into the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum that tells the past, present, and future of the history of the cowboy.
The museum offers our Youth Western Heritage workshops, and those are programs that we invite school children to attend. They come Wednesday through Friday. We do 2 classes a day. We invite individuals who are actual historians to come in and talk about Western history and culture.
I think here at the museum they teach that and help that bring them part of history so the young people can see their past and so that it influence their future.
Because it took the past to get us to where we are today, so we should not forget that. And I'm very proud of all the museums that are taking the time to make an investment into the past history and teach the stories so that the next generation can experience it and understand the contributions that were made by those before them.
The museum essentially promotes and preserves an important part of our history. And I think really gives a voice to those forgotten cowboys.
The fact of the matter is the tourism industry all over the world is looking for things that are genuine, that are real.
One of my goals is that if somebody scratches their head and says, you know, I didn't know that, then mission accomplished. I would hope that somebody would learn something that they didn't know when they walked in the door.
Please come visit the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. We're located at 2029 North Main Street, Fort Worth, Texas, 76164, located in the historic Fort Worth Stockyard.
Fort Davis is a small West Texas town with beautiful scenic mountain views and historic charm. Hardly the place that you would expect to celebrate Black History Month, but tucked away between the Davis Mountains is the story of the Buffalo Soldiers.
The nickname Buffalo Soldiers, and this is not written down anywhere, it's just word of mouth in theory. Cheyenne, you know, watched and studied on these soldiers, and they started equating the black soldiers to the buffalo, the hair on the black man's head to the hair on the buffalo. But think about what the buffalo meant to the Cheyenne. It was everything. It was their food source. It was a sign of strength. What did they do with the buffalo? They used every part of the buffalo to survive. So it was actually a term of respect to these black troops.
The first settlers of Fort Davis were the Buffalo Soldiers, men who broke the chains of slavery and made a commitment to serve their country in honor, with respect and dignity.
They were the soldiers. They were the troops here for actually 14 years. Fort Davis was totally manned by black enlisted men. You know, some of their major functions was to escort the mail and the travelers using the stagecoaches, you know, headed to California. Some accomplishments out here at Fort Davis. They built, you know, thousands of miles of telegraph line. They put in a water system. They actually drilled a well and put in a steam pump and a pipeline. That some of these structures here at Fort Davis actually had running water in the 1880s, if you can believe that. Probably one of their biggest accomplishments in the Southwest was what we call the Victorio campaigns. Victorio was a Warm Springs Apache war leader. 2016 was actually the 150th anniversary of the establishment of the black troops in the United States Army. So this is a long-standing tradition, you know. They eventually become known as Buffalo Soldiers.
Amongst these Buffalo Soldiers was 2nd Lieutenant Henry Flipper. He was the first African-American graduate of the West Point Military Academy, and from there he served as a 2nd lieutenant for the 10th U.S. Cavalry, just one of 2 African-American cavalry regiments.
A message needed to be delivered from where Flipper was to where I believe was Grierson. It's been estimated that this was I think about a 85 or 87 mile horseback ride, and Flipper did this without stopping. You know, he had 2 charges brought up against him. There was an embezzlement charge and there was a conduct charge. And Flipper's job is to be the commissary officer, basically meaning he's in charge of the food supply.
After his dismissal, Lieutenant Flipper worked for the U.S. Department of Justice as a special agent and interpreter, all along maintaining his innocence as he sought to clear his name. He never got the justice he sought before his death when he passed away in 1931 at the age of 75. Decades later, Lieutenant Flipper's legacy was felt throughout the fort and throughout the world when in 1999, President Clinton granted a full and unconditional pardon to Lieutenant Flipper, more than a century after his dismissal.
Under Flipper, the town decided to name the entry road of the fort Lieutenant Flipper Drive. We're learning more and more about Flipper and the Buffalo Soldiers as their nicknames become more and more every day.
As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, the memories and stories of the Buffalo Soldiers remind us of where we've been and who we are. For more information, visit Fort Davis National Historic Site. For CBS 7 News, I'm Erica Thomas.
you do when something comes and invades your home? Do you just sit there and not do anything and just let it come in and, take over? Or do you take a stand in any way you know how to stop this invasion? I never wanted to be a part of this. It just kind of came to me. I actually moved back here not but a year later. We heard about this invasion coming in. I was raised up here as a kid. My ancestors had irrigated off these springs. This land is sacred, has always been sacred to my ancestors. How do you take a step against the tyrant who wrote the book? How do you do that? In 4 years, it's done so much that it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, just in 1 year, Highway 17 from Pecos, Texas to Balmorhea it's gone. Seeing things and being a voice to those who don't have one. My tool is a lens. What steps are appropriate in trying to take steps?
Thank you very much. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I can't say that for now, with all the projects that we are working on, we like to help and express the people in the communities there that helped bring the land alive. At this moment now, we are just waiting to see what would happen with the government, and we're hoping in some grace that this new king that is crowned would either do something or help us in any way. And not only us, but other nations. We do understand now that some of us didn't want the casinos, because all the casinos did was come from underneath upwards. So it's polluted even our greatest elders. So a lot of us have stepped back from what they call traditions, and we've gone back to our roots, where we practice different traditions than those that are being practiced now. These films I showed were basically there and what's happening in our communities. Right now in the moment, there's times where there's hope, and there's times where there's nothing. But all we know what to do is to stand steadfast and keep moving forward to what we need to do and who we need to be. when I grew up, it was not nice. It was not great to be a colored person. We were called pretty nasty names, and even our ancestors and parents did not wish to be who they were. I grew up in that era where it was not nice to be that. Now it's evolved into something different. Now people of color seem to be accepted in the world now. And to me that is finally something that should have been done a long time ago. And people of different likes and beliefs are being accepted now and given an opportunity to embrace and be who they are. I started my career playing music. I lost a brother at a young age, and I didn't realize that I could create a song, scream it, and people would stand up and cheer. And that changed my life. So I ended up going on tour with Bob Marley Festival. I ended up doing a Lollapalooza tour. We ended up playing with Mars Volta. After a while, due to certain brothers in the musical industry, we got signed by Sony. And, a young kid getting a $70,000 check for the first time, it's a big deal. Well, our guitarist kind of stayed at his home for 3 months, and we found him with a needle in his arm. So that changed my story and everything. And then I decided to go country. So I ended up playing with George Strait and Clay Walker. So I went on tour with that and ended up getting a family. Decided that the road wasn't a place for me. So I got into the film industry from a brother. We were in college. And my first role, I had long braids at the time. And he said, I need a guy to get off. I need a guy to get off a Harley Davidson with 2 guns and say, "Die, you effing pigs." So at that moment, I did it, and he goes, "It's great." So that was it. And I ended up acting in B-rows, and then decided that I'd rather be behind the scene. So, and I started a career there, working with different companies. Discovery, National Geographic, and History picked me up, and I would be gone for 6, 7, 8 months, and I decided to back off of that because of family. And I'm here today just doing what I'm always doing, and hoping that what we do and what we say can help the next generation and help ourselves and realize who we are in the world today. It's I don't know what to call it. I just know that if we stand strong and we respect and honor each other, that we can possibly pass this, because I know that our native people have already passed it once, but it seems like the attack is on all of us now. So let us learn from each culture. And it's not only us, it's African, it's even Jewish people who've gone through the chaos and madness. So I cannot stand here and say that it is all my culture. It is all of us, of all colors, who have been through a lot, through everything. But who are we and what are we right now? And what can we do to make a difference? And not only that, but what can we do to show and teach our children and those before them and after them? So, any questions?
I got a question, and plus I'd like to congratulate you on the great work that you do. I like your work. Very
Well,
nice.
you have to excuse me. I noticed when projectors aren't so nice because I do a lot of color correcting, and I think the people look too native, too red. So excuse me. I went and asked him why the color was off. Please excuse me on that. You can visit the YouTube and actually see the real colors. So.
My
But thank
question
you.
was, what's the cost of your most productive? The cost of your one of your productions? What was the most you ever spent?
You know, we did I worked with the Alien Encounters 2 and 3, and each episode we did, I think that was a second series. We did about 2 or 3 episodes, and you're looking at about 150,000 for each episode. The trailer you saw with the horses, that budget was about 80,000, and that was 80,000 because of the different locations, and then I needed to get permits, and then the funny thing is I was filming in different locations where I wasn't supposed to be, so let's just say I'm a mountain biker, so I jumped on that bike and yeah, so you do a lot of guerrilla, we call it guerrilla warfare, right? So there's different situations where, but I'd say big budgets, it's at least 300,000, and that's with the full crew and everybody involved. We're actually working on a project now with a brother that's actually from here. He has bipolar, so we're looking on doing a docudrama with him, and the budget is probably lesser because we're dealing with one character and then one location. So it all depends on the budget and different locations and areas where you film. So thank you. Yes.
I have a couple different questions. One is, where can we watch more of your stuff in full? And then my other one was how is it possible to get involved, working with you possibly or anything like that?
Oh, beautiful. You can visit SoBeItFilms.com. And I'm a co-director for the Latin and Native American Film Festival. So you can go there as well. And what we do there with the festival is we invite all Native people from all different areas. There's just not American or Native Americans, right? There's huge population of Native people across the whole world. And we leave a voice. We created the festival in order for them to voice who they are. Nowadays it's easier to get a lens and a camera and voice and see what is actually going on. So we were able to get that going so we could help educate, different communities. And we always say Americans are blah 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 blah, and they don't know. And honest truth is, we really don't know what's going on in other countries. We don't know, the people. We don't know what the industry is doing. We don't know, diseases. We don't know what's coming in, out, and so we allowed that door to be open for all Native people, and not just Native people, but all people. It doesn't matter if you're half whatever or quarter or whatever. It is your spirit, and it's who and what you are that carries you. So, thank you.
When's that festival?
It's in March, so you can just you can Google it. It's Latin and Native American Film Festival. We call it LANAF. It's in Connecticut, believe it or not. Yeah, it's out of the Southern University there. So we help educate kids, college kids as well. We have to teach them that, listen, your judgment, your point of view isn't. It's what you're taught here in your own social consciousness, but there's another consciousness out there that you're not quite aware. So we help to educate and show them that, I was in Africa shooting a film, and honestly I cried because I didn't realize, but there's kids over there that never ever had a pair of shoes. They're 10 years old, never had a pair of shoes. They didn't have nothing. These kids fight every day just for food, and I had to put the camera down and go sit in a corner, and I mean, we were really spoiled.
Oh yeah.
We are not open to understand the beauty that we have, and how we take advantage of not opening our eyes. Not only that, but our children. And in truth, technology is very beautiful, but at the same time, very dangerous.
Very.
So it's just being aware, being careful, and being, you have your beautiful spirits and you have your dark spirits.
Yes.
And that's one thing that we have to always be aware of and take care of.
I have a question about, familiar with what happened at Standing Rock. What was that, Dakota? What was that? It was a pipeline coming through. And when I saw what happened there, it brought to mind a First Nation prophecy that said something like, in the 6th generation of our people, there will be a rainbow tribe of peoples from all over the world who will come together with the First Nations and help heal the world. And it's Standing Rock because they were trying to prevent this pipeline oil company to drill there. And it was near sacred waterways. That there were people from all over the world who came there to be with the tribes, which I think were Lakota Sioux, I think, and
many tribes.
And they stood firmly with it. And there was he was representing the veterans over there. There was a group of veterans who came to stand with them, and it makes me cry every time I hear this. The leader of the group got down on his knees, and there was a matriarch amongst the group there, and he said, I beg your forgiveness for what the American government did to your peoples in the past. And that was just one moment, and I think about what we can do when people really understand what happened in this country, because that statement is very solid, like, unless you're a member of an indigenous tribe, you're immigrants, many people who came here from, maybe wanting a better way of life, well, those people could have learned so much from the tribes that were here, and maybe in some ways they did, but in other ways they violated that trust. It could have been, I think, you imagine if this country had been living sustainably from those lessons way back, then that oil would have been left in the ground, and all those ways of being sustainable, using everything, and respecting the earth would have been, I think, honored.
Interesting.
Thank you for your films. They were very eye-opening about just some part of the history there.
I'll share an insight. I'm not really supposed to say this.
Which one? Me or?
So, I want to share an insight.
Oh, you're gonna share something.
It is said in the old traditions that any culture that suffers is a debt that we owe to another culture in another past life. Not a lot of people say that, nor do they believe it, and you tell many native chiefs or wannabe chiefs that, and they will insult you. But in truth, it has been documented that we are simply paying a debt that we did to someone else. And it is said not to feel sorry for us, but to allow that debt to be paid. For once we are done here, we can wipe that off of us and say thank you for allowing us to pay our debt for what we have done. And to us, there's always a balance in everything. No matter what you do, there's a choice and there's a consciousness. Do I, don't I? What do I do in that one moment? Do I get angry? Do I spit in that person's face, or do I stop and say, I do not know you. Maybe you lost someone in your life, or maybe you're going through something. Who am I to give back to your anger when I do not know you? When, if you take a moment, you would realize that the person is only in pain. And if you took the moment to really embrace that, you would understand. And instead of reacting the frequency of energy that they give to you, you stop it and you open your eyes to realize and see, what is this? And in truth, we always see people and spirits as, who were they in another past life? Did I hurt you or did I not? Another story, there was a child in a barber shop, and my father went in, we went in, and this little boy, Caucasian boy, came up to my father and gave him a bottled water and said, here you go. And gave him this water. And my father looked at him and he said, why are you giving me this? He goes, I promised to give you this water. So we asked one of the elders, and apparently in the dream, it explained that they were caught in a hill. And those two were on this hill and there was water around them, and they were starving them to death, and the enemy was around. And those two, all they thought was, all I want is water. All I want is something to drink. So I share that with you. You can take that whatever you want. But that is how we know. And we can ask in dreams, and they give it to us. They show us. So, please.
I was going to ask, I noticed the last film was one of your films. Was that more of like a prayer in a way? I just noticed the dancing and also you meditating by like the ocean and the river, or the river. I think that was a river. You know, what exactly were you wanting from that?
So, we do not pray, by the way. We do more of a meditation. Many tribes do say that they pray. The word pray came from a belief system. It was a European word. Now, the European word carries a frequency of energy. The word pray means a false frequency to a false image. So we as a tribe do not say that. Other tribes do use that word. We don't. We say either in meditation or in statement. What we do is we always give thanks. When I get off the plane and I came here, I stick my hands into the earth and I say thank you. And I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but that is a beautiful tree out there. So I'm a tree hugger. I hug the tree. And I said thank you. So, yes, I always give thanks. I'll share something else. Next time you decide to go and you're by a fruit, or you're by a plant or anything, don't just pluck it. And don't sit there and just take it. You ask. Ask it. May I have this? I see your beauty and I respect your beauty. And I promise you, if you do that, the wind will blow and you will think about me and you will say, and that is my gift to all of you. We do not ever take, we ask. And then to us, tobacco has always been sacred. For if I ask and take an apple, a pear, pecans, whatever it is, I leave tobacco and say, thank you. I give back. I do not take. We are a civilization that takes, me. And we're very, very disposable. We do not take anything as a piece. I had a great elder who had a pair of shoes that even my father was old as my father. But he loved those pairs of shoes and he kept those, and to this day they're great shoes. It's unbelievable. And now we So we should always ask, no matter what we do, no matter where we're at, always honor and respect, because one thing we always understand in many native tribes is that we are a piece of everything, as everything is us. I am the great Mother Earth, as the great Mother Earth is me. And if we understand that, then all I'm doing is hurting her and myself. Not only that, but our children. And the children are the important ones. We help to educate them. We help to let them know of this knowledge and it not being swept away in our material life. For it is material that is fracturing who and what we are, our spirit, our freedom, our choice.
And a two-part thing. First, what are the biggest challenges in your community's youth, with their youth? What is their biggest challenge these days?
So, to some of you who do not know, there are some communities that some native people are taking their kids away because you're either going to be an alcoholic or a drug addict. That's it. That's your life. And you get a paycheck every quarterly. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anything. You don't. And so you're stuck in a pattern of frequency that does this every time. And we come in to try and break it, and they call us okwats. Okwat in our language means white thought, the white man thought. And I say no, that is inaccurate, because look at who and what you are and understand that what was given to us from that is now different. There are many cultures and people, even the Okwats, that love and respect who and what we are. So we need to see that and embrace it. Let go of the past. Why? And what are we teaching that? And what are you doing? You're buying alcohol and you're giving it to the elders when you know you're not supposed to. And it's a nonsense pattern. And for those of you who think it's spiritual, we are few. We are few that still stand spiritually. And the other ones have all just been materialized. Following the mob. Following what the media says and does. And being a part of that instead of stepping back and understanding who and what we are. What are we to ourselves? When we look in the mirror, what do we see? Do we see a face? Are we disgusted, happy with it? Or do we see the spirit, the circle with 7 energy points? So,
and do you think the disconnect, the social structure of today's society is pulling everyone? Because I've met people that are bringing back their Gaelic traditions. I've met people that are bringing back their Viking, well, it's not Viking, but I forget what they call it.
Celtic.
Yeah, Nordic, thank you. Nordic communities building again. So, do you think that disconnect makes people not care about Mother Earth, the water, whatever it may be? And do you think that is happening to Native kids today?
You know, this is me, but I believe that people's spirits are waking up, because everyone in here, I know that you know that something is not right. Something is not accurate. These different kings speaking poison tongue, and these different nations and these different entities playing games. And if you see the game that is being played in what we call social media, we are starting to open up. All of us are. And some of us are there to say enough is enough, and there are some that are following it. And now is the most crucial time to not only educate and help our spirit and bring back our traditions, that if you look at the truth, all of our traditions are all the same. They're all one. You look at it. You go back, the Nordics, the Celtics, the Hindus, all those brothers and sisters. If you look at the same principle, it is all about honor. It's all about one creator, and it's all about understanding that this earth is alive and she is helping us. So hopefully that answered. Thank you very much. Well, if there's no other questions, I'd like to invite all of you for a ceremony. Just to share this ceremony. This ceremony is very sacred, so I ask that no photos and no video is taken at all. This ceremony is for all of you. Now, this ceremony is given to you, and I'm sure you already know how special this day is to me. But with tobacco, I will give you tobacco, you put it in the palm, because this is where all the energy and frequency comes out. You put it in your palm, you can hold it. Now, what you would do is you'll hold it. I will play a song. Now, what we're going to do is, no matter what has happened in any of your lives, a person, a place, or a thing, something that you cannot let go, or that you have always wanted to, or say something to someone who is no longer here. This is a moment, a sacred moment for all of you that are here, that you may do this. Now, in our tradition, we always say that it is an honor to see all of you again in this lifetime. So know that we have all been together, and know that this moment is for all of you to let go and allow, and know that this day you can honestly let it go, and we will give this to the ancestors, and you have one day, one moment to let it go, no matter what it is, a loved one, animals, anything, a place, anything. If you have something you are holding, we let it go today. We will hold it. Once the song is done, you take your moment and you go and place the tobacco where you feel it needs to be. And when you do, know that when you let go of that, you let go of that which has been with you. And you allow that to be free, because that is what it is. And the full moon, the moon will take it as it changes it. And where that tobacco lays, Mother Nature will take its course. It stays where it's at, where you laid it, and Mama will take it, and she will do what she does. So if no one is comfortable with this, you may leave. No, I will not be upset or anything, but this is for all of you. And I'm honored to see all of you again. Thank you for being here. And if you would like, we can step outside. We'll sage everyone first, and then we'll start the ceremony. So please let me know if no one is comfortable. Let me know, and you're more than welcome to stay, watch, or you may leave if you like. But if you are interested, please stay, and please know that this is for you, and this is for me as well. So I will give me, my love, and my light to all of you, and we will do it all together, and we will let go and release, and that is what this day is. We'll come outside and we'll just stay around the green grass, and we'll just make a big circle right there on the little grass here outside.